Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. Family members of the Fort Hood murder victims call this a day of justice. A death sentence for Nidal Hasan, who admitted killing 13 people and wounding dozens more at the Central Texas Army post, but put up no defense for his actions at trial. Today, after the verdict, relatives of the victims described what they hope people will remember most from November 5th, 2009.
I want you to remember those who saved lives. The medics, the wounded, the SRP staff, those soldiers who did their job, and they saved every single life that they could have.
Hasan will join 5 other U.S. military service members on death row. Brandon Todd watched the verdict come down. He joins us now from Fort Hood.
Yeah, that's right. And when that sentence of death was read, I don't think, at least for the folks here that were covering this all along, that it was much of a surprise. We had assumed that. Now, you just heard from some family members there, Clarice. We played that soundbite, and it's amazing just how badly the lives of these people, the family members of the murdered people here at Fort Hood, were torn apart and changed forever by what happened. They had at least some relief today, but this sentence also allows them to try and now put this tragedy behind them.
Nidal Hasan is a coward and an unrepentant murderer.
Death. It's what the Fort Hood victims' families have been waiting to hear from a jury for nearly 4 years. Major Nidal Hasan shot and killed 12 soldiers and 1 civilian back in November of 2009. And now the mother of Specialist Jason Hunt can try to move on as the memory of her son lives on.
His idea of going to Iraq was not to harm anybody, but his idea was saving other people's lives. He always said, I would take a bullet for anybody.
Hasan, who continually showed no emotion during emotional and tearful testimony from family members of the people he murdered, again was unfazed. Reuters reporter Jana Pruitt was in the courtroom when the death sentence was read.
Hasan looked at the president of the panel, looked straight at her for the first time, really, that I'd ever noticed him looking. And as she read the sentence, he sat and looked at her, and as soon as she finished, he turned and looked at the judge and never looked back again.
The closing argument presented by prosecutors was compelling, outlining the life and death of each of the 13 people murdered by Major Nidal Hasan. Colonel Mike Mulligan spoke about the appearance that Hasan is deliberately tanking his defense to get death in hopes of becoming a martyr. Mulligan told jurors, he is not giving his life, we are taking it. It is not his gift for God. He is not now, nor will he ever be, a martyr. He is a killer, a cold-blooded murderer.
Colonel Mulligan argued that Hasan, quote, should not be punished for his religion. He should be punished for his hate.
When it was Hasan's chance to make a closing argument, his last chance to craft any sort of religious manifesto, he simply said, I have no closing statement. The families left in the wake of his murders had plenty to say.
Remember what heroes we make when we act like soldiers, and we act with honor and respect. And remember the tragedy that follows selfishness, cowardice, extremism, and betrayal.
Clarice, I will tell you, after covering this for quite a while, after every day of testimony so far, we have had to wait at least an hour or 2 sometimes before Hasan is taken away. And I can tell you today, after that sentence was read, we probably waited maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and he was taken away from Fort Hood. He is bound for Fort Leavenworth. His court-martial, as a rule of military law, will be immediately reviewed and appealed. Clarice?
Very different situation today, Brandon. Okay, tell us about the money that Hasan has already accrued, his pay and his rank. Has anything been decided on those 3 items?
Right, exactly. A lot has been made of that. A lot of people have really had a hard time accepting that he has been getting a paycheck the entire time he's been in custody. His paycheck, as a result of his death sentence, will stop from now into the future. The money, this is unfortunate, the money that he has made while in custody, he will get to keep. Now, he is in custody. It's not like he can spend it. It's in holding. However, Clarice, I can almost guarantee you that money has now a very large bullseye for a lot of civil suits that I'm sure will be filed.
And his rank, that's gone?
His rank is as of major right now. Once this is reviewed and the review is signed off by the federal government, and before the appeals process starts, he will be downgraded from a major to a private E1. Clarice, that's the lowest rank you can have in the military. This is what I was told. And he still will maintain at least that rank because since he is in Fort Leavenworth, a military prison, he will at least, even the guards that are watching him will outrank him, but he will maintain that rank so that he will at least be required to follow orders. Clarice?
Brandon Todd reporting from Fort Hood. Thank you very much.